Hi, prayer team members. This is a good way for me to come talk to you about a very important event that's happening. In fact, it's happening right as we speak. And that is our prayer team expansion. It is now only 9 weeks away before we open the doors of the Gateway Expansion Project in Gateway. We're going to need more people on the prayer team. We're going to need more people working there. And some things I want to just bring up to date as to what's going on. I've heard some things, people having a little bit of misinformation here, maybe not understanding a few things there. And let me just explain a couple of things. Number one, what we've had to do is expand our organization out to help meet the needs of our people and to make it more centralized and help people make sure we have good follow-up. And to do that, what we did was we added a new position, and that team position is a care team ministry director. And what that person is going to be in charge of, they're going to be in charge of all 3 different days of services: the Saturday night plantation, the Sunday morning plantation, and then also the Sunday morning gateway, as well as bringing the web aspect of our prayer ministry up underneath her direction as well. And I want to just tell you who this person is. It's Nancy Bloy. She's a real sweetheart. She's got a real heart for prayer. She's got a lot of experience in leading prayer teams in her life. Her and her husband, Pete, have been working with our church now for some time, and just being in the prayer team, also being in the ministry with other people and where they came from in California. But I just want to let you know this is going to be a great joy to have her with us, and I want to ask you to give her your complete cooperation, because as she speaks, she's really speaking my heart and my vision for the prayer team, and in that respect, she's also speaking Matt's vision for their prayer team. Now, just to cover a few things. Number one is that, many of you know Ted Giesman. He has been running our prayer team for some time, all the way back to where I know, at least since we've been in the theater, not theater, but at the high school, and then we moved into the new campus on Plantation. As we began to expand services and expand his role, it began to be apparent it was getting to be probably just a little bit much to add one more campus. And besides, he said he wanted to go to Gateway. And this is a good fit because, as we know, Ted is excellent at taking something and making something from absolutely nothing. And so we're asking him to do that, to go out and build a prayer team for 2 services. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute, how's that not a demotion? Well, it's not, because we all believe, and as I talk with Ted, and Ted's in agreement with this, that pretty soon after we get started at Gateway, we believe that the Gateway campus is just going to explode. It's going to create a need for us to add more services there, and I can easily see Gateway going to 4 services probably for the end of 2014. We've been told about all the people that are in Gateway, Lehigh area, and it's huge. When I came here 8 years ago, I was told by my prayer team mentors, and also through reports we got through surveys, that Lee County is the least churched county in the whole southeast United States. If any place missed the Bible Belt, it was Lee County. And a lot of that's for several different reasons. Number one, almost everybody here in Lee County is from somewhere else. So they don't have that experience of growing up in a church here in Lee County, and they don't have that experience of having that as a routine or a habit. Also, many times people move down to Lee County and they got displaced from their church or their traditional religious services they would go to, and they just opted out. They de-churched themselves, so to speak. And now they're starting to discover, wait a minute, we missed that. We missed that need for that spiritual connection in our life. And they're finding next level. Well, let me tell you this. The percentage of people that do not go to any regularly, normal, formal worship service on a given basis in Lee County is right at 92%. That's just crazy. And less than 8% go anywhere. And that includes the Mormons, that includes the Muslims, that includes the Hindu temple next door to us in Plantation, that includes every denomination under the sun, and even the Wiccans are included in that. And those are the American witches. They're included in that. Less than 8% of the Lee County population of 600,000 go anywhere. So that should ought to give you an incredible burden for where we're going to. What we're doing by opening up Gateway is we're opening up seats. We're opening up and expanding the opportunity to share a life-giving message of the Lord Jesus Christ to people who desperately need it. I appreciate your help, and I appreciate your support in the prayer team. We're going to need more of you to step forward and be a part of the worship time prayer team. We're going to need more of you to be willing to shadow and come alongside and say, look, I want to pray with somebody. I don't feel comfortable praying with people up front, but that's okay. By the time that they come to the prayer team up front, there's nobody in the worship center anyway. So you're not in front of a bunch of people. So I want to encourage you to pray, ask God where He'd want you to serve, ask Him to empower you and strengthen you to do the work and the calling He's given you. And I know that if you do that, God is faithful. He is a faithful and loving God, and He will direct our paths, and He will strengthen us and empower us to do His will. Now I ask you right now to lovingly begin to consider all that's going on. And if you hear somebody talking about something about, well, I'm not sure how this happened or what, send them to me. Ask them to give me a call. Ask them to stop me in the foyer. I'll be glad to talk to them. If you're a leader, would you step forward and say, look, I listened to Pastor Mike's video, and he said, look, Ted wanted to go to Gateway. Nobody's demoting him. In fact, his opportunity to do exactly what he did at Plantation stands before him at Gateway. And I ask you guys to keep him in prayer because he's going to need it. I also ask you to consider going to Gateway with him to help build that prayer team into a solid foundation there. And I just ask you to, if you hear anybody trying to cause some disturbance, because that's what happens, because change is difficult. None of us likes it except the baby with a wet diaper. But if you hear somebody kind of getting a little upset about this, that, and the other, just calm them down and say, look, there's no problem. I talked to Pastor Mike, or I've listened to the video, and this is how it's going. It's all good. It's all fine. What's happening is the organization is expanding, not people getting somebody else's position, because that just never happened in the first place. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I pray for you. I pray right now that the God of all glory will just expand your hearts in love and joy. That your ability to be able to grasp His love, the depths of it, the length of it, the height of it, would just be expanded. That you would be able to reach around and be able to begin to see the love that God has for you and has for those 92,000 unchurched and dechurched people in the East County. That you might reach around and grab a hold and love on your pastors and your ministers and the volunteers in our church. And you would be able to just see what God is going to do in our lives and the lives of our church as we see God moving and changing people, bringing them out of darkness into light and out of captivity into freedom in the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you have a question, feel free to send me an email, shoot me a call. I'll be glad to talk to you about stuff. This is a ministry that we're in together, and we're going to see God's glory and God be lifted up. All right? Thank you so much for watching this. Have a great day. Bye-bye.